think that she always felt that she didn't want to conform musically to what people were telling her to do. And
sai cosa per me è il girl power? Sarah Vaughan, Lauryn Hill. Devi capire una cosa. Non sono una Spice Girl.
Can you remember what did you feel the first time you listened to Amy Winehouse's voice?
Well, the first time I saw her live was the first time I heard her voice, actually, because she was playing in a jazz club in Soho, and she was part of an ensemble of new up-and-coming talent. And so I went there, and she was stood, not that far away from me, and I just remember being rooted to my seat thinking, what an incredible voice this young girl has. But also sort of seeing how shy she was, and so just sort of like quite still and very, very shy. And then after that, I sort of followed her music, which obviously was quite impactful.
Mm-hmm. And you?
I mean, I remember the first time I heard her music, I was played it by my dad, actually, and he'd sort of recorded her on the television and sat me and my brother down and was like, you have to watch this girl. Like, this is crazy. This is very special. And we did. I mean, I would have been very young. I would have been about 6 years old. But I remember that moment and feeling like, oh, okay, we have to listen. And I think that it's just like, a signifier of how important she was to so many people.
I watched an interview in which she says that she didn't consider herself like a singer, but more a songwriter. But we all know her also for her voice, obviously. In which way, in your opinion, her voice is unique?
I mean, it just is. It's hard to describe uniqueness because it's unique, but it feels like, the most incredible thing is just that she feels like her voice will just transcend time in the same way, all her great sort of heroes and influences like Billie Holiday and, people like that, their voice just sort of carries over generations and generations. And I think that's a real signifier of an incredible uniqueness.
And I think authenticity is what makes anything completely unique, So I think she kind of, the fact that she wrote this music herself as well is probably lends itself to the fact that, hearing her say these words that meant so much to her is the thing that adds its uniqueness. But I don't know, then again, Valerie is one of the most iconic covers of all time, so there's so many things. In
the movie she says how come people don't get jets, and she identifies herself like a jet person. So do you believe that the problem for her was that she didn't feel that many people understood her? She felt that she was misunderstood in some way.
I think that she always felt that she didn't want to conform musically to what people were telling her to do. And if you listen to Frank, it's musically quite a complicated album. I learned to play guitar on those songs. Like, I would not recommend learning to play guitar on songs like I Heard Love Is Blind. That's a lot of jazz chords, and it's tricky, and I think that people felt that it wasn't going to sell, in America or whatever, because it wasn't understandable. It wasn't pop. I don't think that mattered to her. I think that she wanted to create something that was authentic, and I think it just so happened that what she was inspired by at the time of Back to Black was a sound that was slightly more recognizable, like that sort of doo-wop girl band sound that inspired Back to Black was just more relatable to people, to a bigger audience than the sort of jazz-inspired Frank album. But I don't think that was her bending. It was just that it was just happened to be what she was inspired by at the time.
And speaking about that, she also says in the movie, I don't care about the fame game. For us today it's crazy because everybody now think first about their Instagram posts and then about the songs, maybe. So how important is to really focus on the authenticity, as you were saying, on the music, on the words? How important is?
I
not thinking too much about the fame game.
No, I feel that she was true to her word, and I think the thing that she was most proud of was winning the Ivor Novello Award for songwriting, and I think she really saw herself as a songwriter and a singer maybe just after that. But I think that for us our film is completely guided by her lyrics, her voice, and that was so important to sort of feel like she's almost telling us the story through her music in that way.
And I think the most important thing to her was always about like being respected by her peers. Like, I think there's nothing bad about being ambitious. I don't think she would crave fame in any way, but she wanted to be respected. And I think there's an incredible interview where someone tells her halfway through that Prince wants to sing with her, and she's like, her face, you can see this like unbelievable joy and pride. And I think it wasn't that she wanted to like hide away and no one to ever hear her music, but like the byproduct of fame, that very specific thing that I guess now means being just sort of exposed, wasn't interesting to her.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
MTV interview, I watched that too.
Yeah.